Well, Jason, you're telling us that Peter Woods is going to possibly change his mindset. That apparently applies to nutrition too. I don't know if he doesn't like what he sees on the scale, or he doesn't like how he looks in the mirror, or he thinks he can be better if he's a little lighter.
First practice we got to go into this spring. First thing I said to one of my colleagues was, "Man, Peter Woods looks like he slimmed down some." And when he met with the media, I think it was Saturday, he was asked about that, and he said he got up to 330 something last year, which is, I would say, and he even said it. It's probably a little too heavy for him, and he didn't look quite as quick. He didn't look quite as agile. So he said he dropped 15 real pounds, about 20 pounds. So take that however you want to take it, but man, he looks different. He looks slimmed down some. Um, this is kind of his money year, right? He's your junior year. If you're not wanting to stay in college 4 years, this is your money year, so you better make the most of it. And he said he didn't do a whole lot of different things with his diet. He said we'd probably be surprised if we knew all of the details. It was just some little things like maybe not eating late at night and let it sitting on you all night long, because when you eat right before you go to bed, your body doesn't have time to metabolize it and stuff. It was just little things like that. But whatever he's done, it's worked. He's probably in the best shape he's been in since he's been at Clemson.
Our guy 5 Adam is looking for a update on the offensive line.
Hey, man, it's kind of still a mash unit right now. Walker Parks has been out all spring. Tristan Lee's been out all spring. You still got to find that fourth guy, that fifth starter, because they got 4 starters return. You still got to find that fifth guy to replace Marcus Tate there. He played left guard last year. I would probably pencil in Colin Sadler there. But when you see how much improvement this group made last year in year one under Matt Luke, you got to think there's going to be more coming in year two, because usually the biggest jump when you're talking about players stuff is in between year one and year two. And although they were vastly improved last year, there was certainly still more room for improvement. I think that group's going to be pretty good this year. They've gotten a lot of the backups, a lot of reps this spring with some of the guys that have been held out and still recovering and stuff. A lot of the freshmen have been getting reps. Garrett Riley really talked up some of those guys the other day. Gavin Blanchard and Easton Ware, and particularly Braden Jacobs, who Dabo Sweeney said might be the best tackle he's ever signed. So the future definitely looks bright there, especially when you start looking at some of the guys that got committed right now for 2026. But with all the experience that they got coming back, this should be I'm not saying it's going to be the best offensive line in the country or one of the best in the country, but they should be good up front. It might be one of their better groups that we've seen up front, or it should be one of the better ones we've seen in several years now. They just got a lot of guys coming back that have played a lot of games, and I think that's going to pay off for them.
Jason, what's the latest on the recruiting front?
They just picked up a commitment Saturday, a surprise one at that. I was not expecting it. Defensive tackle Cameron Cody picked up an offer earlier this year. During the contact period, I think when Nick Eason went and visited him at his high school, if I'm remembering right, he returned and he came to campus in March for the elite retreat. The first time he had been on campus in a long time, I think since the 8th or 9th grade or something. When that time he came for a basketball camp, but he's probably, you got it right here. I was going to say he's not one of the higher rated guys in the class. But when it comes to defensive tackles, man, I kind of look at them in the same vein I look at the cornerbacks. Whoever they decide to take at defensive tackle, I'm generally going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because they've done so well at developing those guys. Even some of the diamonds, they've been so good at, kind of detecting some of those diamonds in the rough. Same way with Mike Reed at cornerback. They took a guy like this last class and Mekhi Williams-Lee, and I think he's going to be really good. And I think the same thing about this guy. He's 6'2", man. He's 285 pounds, so he's not one of the taller or heaviest defensive tackle prospects in the country, but they think there's a lot to work with here, and they think they can develop him into a really good player.
All right, Jason, we appreciate you stopping by. Have a good time there at the spring game and whatever they're calling it. And we're going to rely on you to tell us what happened because we're not going to be able to watch it.
They are going to turn it into a 1-hour special. I don't know if it's only going to air on the Clemson Plus thing or if they'll air it anywhere else. We'll see. But I'm kind of anxious to get up there and see what this thing turns into because it's going to be different than what we're accustomed to. Absolutely.
Very good. All right, Jason, you have yourself a good week. Always appreciate seeing you and getting the breakdown.
Appreciate it, my friend.